Okay, so what I'm doing here is I am going to tell you a little bit about what's going on in this final week 8. It's fairly self-explanatory in the course, but in case people always seem to want, to have a maybe once over of it, just in case, make sure they're not missing anything. So that's what I'm going to do. You've got your career assignment, which is to tell me about yourself. I notice nobody's posted there yet. There is, if I click on it, there is a document that shows you how to access the webinar from the Career Services Hire DeVry 2.0. And then there's 3 questions from it. If you can't access the video or the PDF file for some reason, then you can go ahead and you can answer this question here. You'll do some research on elevator speeches, and then you'll tell me how long the elevator speech should be, what areas it should cover, and maybe what your own elevator speech might be. So that's the first thing that you have to do. Then, scrolling down, you have the final oral presentation. This oral presentation is exactly like what you did in weeks 4, 5, and 6. The only difference is that you have a slide which is called Trade Secrets, which are just tips for being successful in CAPSIM. So what I'm looking for is for you to tell me those things that you did that made a lot of sense, like, I don't know, sold off equipment that we didn't need, that we already had in place if there was too much of it, for example. So make sure you use all the knowledge that you gained in the week 3 quiz on analysis presentations, as all of those slides apply, and then you have one more. As usual, you'll give me all data from all weeks for those slides that are longitudinal, like the line graphs, but you'll only explain the last 2 rounds as to what happened there. This is a group project. One person submits on behalf of the entire team, so please listen to your slides. I've had problems with not being able to hear people even though they've submitted their slides, and I've had to ask them to re-record them, and it's a hassle for them. So please make sure that you listen to your slides before you send them in, and make sure that they're all very, very loud and clear so I can hear it without making any adjustments. Okay, so that's the next thing that you have to do. And then last of all is the final course report. Okay, I gave you a quiz last week in week 7 about what the formatting instructions are. So I gave you the checklist of the things that you should do, and then I gave you a little quiz on it as well so that you know what it is you're supposed to do in order to create a nice looking professionally formatted paper. I've indicated here that you don't expect to get an A or full points if the paper is not AP or formatted, does not exemplify good written English, or is not coherent. So make sure you address also all the points in the template, and that each table or figure has a preamble to it. No out of the blue tables or figures that don't tell me anything. Okay, and then here are the instructions right here when I click on them. You'll have a simple cover page, and I've created here, this is a I should download this to show you the features. Okay, and it won't enable editing for me to do anything with it. So, okay, I got it so that it would allow me to show you things. So you got an automatic table of contents here, so don't just blow this away. What this does is as you type, let me put some space in here and some verbiage like that. As you type, the headings go onto different pages, and it's difficult to it's a hassle to go and track all that and then put it in a table of contents. So instead, I've got an automatic one where you just have to click on Update Table, and then click up update the entire table, and it took all of the page numbers and it moved them to where the new headings were. So don't delete any of these headings or anything, but what I've done is I've told you how much each one of these sections should have in them in terms of paragraphs, and I've told you exactly how to do this down here within the results section. So what you're going to have is you'll have the entire balance scorecard results, which will be in the form of a table where you express the points that you achieved against the total points possible in every single week. Okay, that graph will just show how well you've done overall, and then you answer some questions that are listed in here, and then you provide separate graphs for sales, profit, return on sales, and stock price over the life of the simulation. So that's another thing that you need to do to show me how you did overall. Then you will also go into every one of the 5 areas that are in the balanced scorecard. So I would put in here, a section on the finance section, a section on the customer experience section, a custom on the internal processes, and there's one other, learning and growth. And then you would have in that maybe a discussion of what the individual results were for each one of those. Okay? In week 8, you can limit your discussion to what was in week 8. You don't have to go longitudinal over the 8 weeks. And then you give me your recommendations. Then to meet the objectives of the program and allow us to do assessment, what you should talk about how global economy affects research and development, marketing, operations, and financing decisions. So I want you to do some research on that and comment in each area about what global economy actually means for these areas. Then diversity. Talk about that. And when we're talking about diversity, we're talking about, inclusion of people of different races, different orientations, etc. And then last of all, 1-paragraph conclusion, and then give me your references here at the end. Use a citation machine, and this should be bolded under the new guidelines for APA. Okay? So I hope that helps you know what to do for the paper. If you have any questions, feel free to call me. Thank you. Bye.